injuries before. Hasn't been that big of an issue. Let's go to AT&T Stadium right now. Charles Davis, Gus Johnson with the call.
All right, Rob, Arlington, Texas, and you took a look at AT&T Stadium, and we are ready for college football as Texas Tech, after starting the season 7-0, ranked as high as 10 in the BCS, has fallen on hard times, and no rest for the weary, because tonight they'll take on the 5th-ranked Baylor Bears. Hi, everybody. Gus Johnson, along with my partner, the great communicator, Charles Davis. And welcome to Arlington. We're about 20 miles west of Big D. And when you look at this game on paper, we have a chance to have an explosive, offensive football game.
If we get the Texas Tech that won 7 in a row to start the season, and Baker Mayfield, the quarterback that rallied them to the first 5 wins, is back as the starter this evening. They must get off to a hot start and play from the front, but it's a tough task against a Baylor defense that's ranked 9th in the country, 6th in the country in scoring defense, and they have playmakers at every level. Chris McAllister rushes the passer from defensive end. Eddie Lackey, Bryce Hager are a terrific duo linebacker, and Ahmad Dixon will strike you in the secondary. But the guy that rallies them, the guy that leads them, Bryce Petty, the quarterback, 21 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Baylor puts up 61 points a game. They say, catch us if you can.
All right, Baylor has won 2 straight. However, 4 of the last 5 have been decided by 7 points or less. Coming up, Texas Tech, Baylor. We're deep in the Big 12. Let's take a look at the series history. Texas Tech leads, but Baylor has won the last 2, 52-45 in overtime in 2012. Before that, Texas Tech had won 15 straight. 4 of the last 5 meetings have been decided by 7 points or less. Texas Tech won the toss. They will receive the football. Cliff Kingsbury, last year he was Johnny Manziel's offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. He's in his first year. Team is trying to dig themselves out of a hole. They've lost 3 in a row. Meanwhile, Art Briles just got a 10-year contract extension. Wise decision by the Baylor department, because he's the kind of coach you don't want going anywhere.
I was on the field in pregame, Gus, and was talking with an NFL scout. You know what he said? If I'm going to go get someone, if the league's sniffing after someone, it should be Art Briles. Terrific job by the Baylor administration locking up their coach.
So Jakeem Grant, Bradley Marquez ready to return the football for Texas Tech. And sending it away for Baylor, Aaron Jones. Last week, Texas Tech lost to Kansas State 49-26 in Lubbock. The Red Raiders gave up more than 277 yards rushing for the 3rd straight game. Meanwhile, Baylor beat Oklahoma in Waco 41-12. Bryce Petty threw 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 more. Great atmosphere here at Jerry's World in Arlington, right outside of Big D. We're deep in Big 12 country, folks. We've got the #5 team in the nation ready to get busy. Baylor, Texas Tech, and here we go. This one kicked out of the end zone, and the Red Raiders will start from the 25. So let's take a look at our high-performance players.
For Texas Tech, Jason Morrow, the tight end, has been the best tight end in the nation so far this season. Eric Ward quietly, 7 100-yard games this season. For Baylor, Chris McAllister is their sack master, 5.5 sacks this season, and Ahmad Dixon allows him to morph into any coverage. He can play safety. He looks like a linebacker at times. Number one thing, he will make plays on the football.
So Baker Mayfield, a walk-on freshman from Austin, Texas, started the first 5 games. Injured his left knee versus Kansas on October 5th. Lost the job, but came in with 5 minutes left last week for Davis Webb. 1st and 10 at the 25, and a throw on 1st down, incomplete. Ball intended for Bradley Marquez.
Mayfield, true freshman, one of 2 true freshmen who have played quarterback this year for Texas Tech. Be interesting to see if he can get off to a quick start, and if he doesn't, will Cliff Kingsbury go to the hook as he did last week, bringing Mayfield in for Davis Webb.
And Mayfield on the play action fake, under pressure, gets it off and incomplete. Remember, He came in with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. After Davis Webb started slowly, he ended up completing 34-44 for close to 300 yards.
Watch the pressure from the interior. Bo Blackshear, number 95, the first guy to flush Baker Mayfield, made him move and shuffle his feet, unable to get set and complete the pass.
Third down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Mayfield out of the shotgun as he looks to the sideline. And here's Mayfield to throw, looking near side, and he has his tight end, Jason Morrow, makes the catch, picks up the first down on a big third down and 10. He'll get 11.
And let's see if they go a little bit quicker now. They picked up the initial first down of the game. Amaro, a tremendous target, having a monster season.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage, Kenny Williams running straight ahead with room, still on his feet. A whirling dervish, Kenny Williams, Jr. from Pflugerville, Texas, a 9-yard gain.
And this is something Tech will have to do all night long. Run the football enough to keep Baylor's attention so they can't just totally load up on the outside receivers.
Opening series for Texas Tech. Here's the handoff. Kenny Williams running right, picks up the first down. So what has happened to Texas Tech? They started 7-0. They were ranked 10th in the BCS, but they've lost 3 straight games. What's happened to this team?
Couple of things happened. Number one, the schedule got tougher. They went up to Oklahoma and had a tough time. Number two, defensively, unable to slow anyone down running the football. Teams are averaging over 275 yards a game in the last 3 games running the ball against Tech. And number three, injuries. They've been dinged a lot on the defensive side of the football especially.
First down and 10 now at the 48 for Texas Tech. Baker Mayfield starting tonight. Here's Kenny Williams. And Williams with running room once again. Tell you what, Kenny Williams looks like that kid I saw at UCLA last night. Jack. They're going to start calling him the Jackhammer.
Let me tell you something. If Miles Jack had started playing both ways earlier in the season, he would be a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate because he's playing very well on defense, and the offense is incredible. Lanyap on top.
Second down and 5. This one incomplete, intended for Jakeem Grant. Just couldn't haul it in. He was in first down range, and that'll bring up third down and 5.
And keep an eye here on Baylor's defense and see if they walk their corners up on the outside receivers to play press man. If so, Amaro becomes easily your number 1 target, working inside against the nickelback safeties and linebackers.
Amaro, the slot receiver at the bottom of your screen. Here's Mayfield. Steps up in the pocket, wants to run it close to the first down, and he'll get it. Or will he? It depends on the spot. Eddie Lackey with the tackle.
I think it's a little bit short, but I think they'll go for it here. With the way things have gone with this season, the loss of 3 in a row, Cliff Kingsbury wants to show his team he still has confidence in them and wants an early spark.
So on 4th down and 1, the Red Raiders electing to go for it. Kenny Williams lines up in the backfield with Baker Mayfield.
And I wouldn't run it here, Gus. I'd throw it if I'm Texas Tech.
And they will. He rolls out on the money, first down. Jordan Davis checked in on 4th down, and he's got glue on those fingertips. First down, Texas Tech.
The reason I said throw it, not run it, know what your personality is as a program. 4th and short, you're really not a jackhammer, move people off the line of scrimmage team. You're much better moving the pocket as they did. Mayfield with a short throw picks up the first down.
First down and 10 of the 39 of Baylor. Here's Mayfield. Scrambling out of the pocket, throws on the run, incomplete. That ball intended for Eric Ward, the senior from Wichita Falls, Texas.
Dimitri Goodson, number 3 in the coverage there. Gus, you probably remember him from Gonzaga, a point guard there, a starting point guard for that Bulldogs going to the NCAA tournament. Changed over to football because he thought he had a better chance of an NFL career than he did an NBA career.
Second down and 10 of the 39, 11th play of the drive that started at the Tech 25-yard line. Empty backfield for Mayfield. He'll let it fly quickly underneath. Davis with the grab in heavy traffic as he's ridden down by Terrell Burt. But he gains, let's say, 3.5 on the play. Third down and 7. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Baylor showing blitz.
See if they check out of it now. Phil Bennett, their defensive coordinator, orchestrating from the sideline.
Here's Mayfield. Looks far side. Incomplete. No flag on the play. Bradley Marquez, the intended receiver. And it looks like he may have been held up by K.J. Morton.
He's got a nice hand and jersey on the inside. They missed that one. That's one where you had to make, you really needed to throw the flag because of Morton grabbing all that cloth and impeding the progress of Marquez downfield. K.J. Morton got away with that one.
So Texas Tech will throw caution to the wind. Cliff Kingsbury, remember folks, he's only 34 years old. He's not experienced enough to be nervous on 4th down and 7.
And there's Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, who has all the experience, and he's experienced enough to be nervous on 4th down here because you never know what Cliff Kingsbury might do.
Now Tech decides to call a timeout on 4th down and 7. And we'll stay right here. Great atmosphere, folks. This actually feels like a bowl game. The pageantry of college football in full display.
And when this series began, when they started taking it off campus and moving it here to the Metroplex, that's one of the things that Art Briles sold his team on, because Baylor wasn't used to going to bowls at that time. Guys, this is what a bowl atmosphere will be like. This will be like a bowl game. This is what we want to get to each and every year. Now, 4 straight seasons, right, is what we're talking about. Baylor going to bowls now when you add this year in. Guess what? Not the same now. Now they want bigger and better. This should be normal for the Baylor Bears now.
Baylor coming into this football game undefeated, 8-0, 5-0 in Big 12 play. Their season about to get tougher with Texas Tech here, Oklahoma State next week. They'll wrap it up with Texas at the end of the year. TCU sandwiched in between, 4th and 7.
I think they're going to go after it.
Baker Mayfield. Sideline, incomplete, and a flag. That time they got the Bears. Dimitri Goodson will be called for pass interference.
And I know there's no such thing as makeup calls, but if it was close, they were going to get it.
The pass, holding, number 3, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first out.
To the total outside of your picture, to the left side of your screen, 18 in white is Eric Ward. Goodson wraps him up, holds him, makes it easy for the official to throw the flag.
So Cliff Kingsbury says, way to go, boys. First down at the 26-yard line. Here's Sadale Foster with running room. Sadale Foster inside the 10-yard line. A 20-yard gain.
What an excellent move by Sadale Foster to make the first tackler miss and allowed him to get to the edge and vault his way towards the end zone. As we look at the red zone offense now, 20 field goals, way too many for Texas Tech. They've got to think 6 and 6 alone on this drive.
So first down and goal of the 6. Opening series for Texas Tech. Mayfield throws the fade in the corner, and Marquez can't get up to get it. K.J. Morton there defensively.
One thing we've learned early in this game, the Baylor corners will be physical. They will give up a couple of calls if they have to, but that doesn't seem like they're going to back off. So if you're the Texas Tech wide receivers, you got to think about every route you run. You have to be as physical, if not more, muscling up for the football.
Second down and goal of the 6. 15th play of the drive. Mayfield gives it up. Williams throws. Amaro. Touchdown, Tech. Abracadabra.
This is the second time we've seen this as a crew, Gus. Remember Oklahoma? Kenny Williams threw the pass to Eric Ward at Oklahoma. In this situation, Jace Amaro works his way free. After they thought it was a run, everyone sucks up from the secondary. And look, Amaro getting that foot down, inbounds for the initial score of the game. Yeah, a lefty thrower on the play. They went to the left. Left-handed throw by Williams. Second touchdown pass of the season for him.
Extra point up and good. 11:02 to play in the first quarter. Texas Tech on their opening series started from the 25, marched it all the way down the field. Pater. Art Briles says it's our turn now. College football is sponsored by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee, built free. All right, coming into tonight, Baylor has trailed for just 7 minutes and 13 seconds this season. Texas Tech on a wonderful opening drive, 15 plays, 75 yards. Amaro with the 6-yard touchdown catch.
How about the 2 4th downs they picked up? Remember what their motto is for the season. Fortune favors the bold, and they were indeed that on their first drive.
Norwood and Fuller back deep for Baylor. And the Bears will get a chance to return. Here's Clay Fuller. And Fuller with a hold. He'll dive forward over the 25 up to the 27-yard line. And let's go to Patrick O'Neill in Los Angeles for a Lowe's Never Stop Improving game break.
Just an incredible game going on between Georgia and Auburn. After the Bulldogs have taken the lead, last chance for Auburn, 4th and 18. Nick Marshall, Hail Mary. The defender doesn't knock the ball down. Ricardo Lewis somehow catches it. 73-yard touchdown, but now Georgia has a chance with 3 seconds left. Incredible. Right now, it is Auburn with the lead. Gus and Charles.
All right, thank you very much, Patrick.
Auburn Tigers still trying to track to win the SEC West. Remember, they get Alabama at home the last week of the season.
So a first down and 10 for Bryce Petty and the Baylor Bears. And he'll play fake. Petty swings it out to shock Linwood, and incomplete. Let's take a look at our high-performance players.
Antoine Goodley is the #1 receiver now with the loss of Tevin Reese. He may play some running back tonight. Shock Linwood, 182 yards against Oklahoma. Justice Nelson will start on the corner for Texas Tech tonight.
And this time the ball complete to Levi Norwood. And Norwood still running, and he'll get inside Texas Tech territory. A 26-yard gain. Brandon Jackson finally brings him down.
If there was ever a team that could absorb the loss of a great receiver such as Tevin Reese, it's Baylor. They have playmakers all over the field.
Play fake. Petty again. He'll bring it down, wants to run it, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. So Bryce Petty, a junior. He's backed up RG3 and Nick Florence the past 2 seasons. He threw just 14 passes in 11 career games before this season began. 2nd and 10 at the 47. And some movement. That's the right guard, Kelvin Palmer.
Well, start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, you've noted it, Gus, number 5 in the country is Baylor. Slightly unfamiliar territory for them. Actually, very much unfamiliar territory. They're playing with the pressure of being the front runner now, not the team that's doing the hunting.
Correction, Kelvin Palmer, the right tackle. Tight end lined up on his side of the ball. 2nd and 15 at the 48. Petty, quick release. And knocked away. Terrific defense by the Red Raiders, Bruce Jones.
Watch Bruce Jones just read the quarterback. He saw the quarterback's drop in and cock his arm, and he took the shot and fired and knocked the pass away.
3rd down and 15. Baylor needs to go to the Tech 37 for a first down. Here's Petty. Under pressure. And incomplete. Texas Tech brought the heat. Kerry Hyder getting to the quarterback. And Baylor will punt it away.
Left side of your screen. Kerry Hyder coming with Pete Robertson. Here he is hitting Bryce Petty. Last week, Texas Tech was flat and uninspired in their game against Kansas State. You think the coaches didn't get after them a little bit this week? They're coming out with a much better effort tonight. And remember, nothing to lose Texas Tech side. They've lost 3 in a row. They just want to reverse their fortunes.
Spencer Roth punting from the 34. Jordan Davis back deep. He'll let it take a bounce and bounce out of bounds around the 10-yard line. So Chase Amaro, the All-American tight end, already has a touchdown. He and the Red Raiders back right after this. Bears from 96 to 2010. During that stretch, Baylor was outscored by 382 points. Texas Tech's offense outgained Baylor an average of 198 yards a game, and the average score of those games was 42 to 18. However, Baylor has won the last two. First down and 10 at the 11-yard line now for the Red Raiders. Foster in motion out of the backfield. Mayfield, quick release underneath. And this ball is caught, and they advance across the 10-yard line.
Dylan Cantrell, a backup wide receiver, starting to get a little extra playing time.
So Cantrell will trot off the field. 2nd and 7 at the 14 after the 3-yard gain. Here's Mayfield again, looking near side. Oh, he put that one right between the numbers, folks, to Eric Ward. A frozen rope from Mayfield, and it's a gain of 10 and a first down.
You can tell this Texas Tech staff did not spend all week beating down these kids. They propped up their confidence, told them they still believed in them, and they've come out aggressively tonight.
Now Mayfield wants to run it, squeezes through the hole, and picks up 4. Eddie Lackey with the tackle.
Gus, you know what it's like. You've been around when you've seen a 3-game losing streak, and the head coach now, oh, you guys are terrible. You're not doing enough. Cliff Kingsbury and his staff have not done that with this Texas Tech team. He knew they were in a fragile state emotionally. They have not played well in October and November in the last 3 seasons. He needed to give them confidence. Tonight, they're playing with that confidence.
So it brings up 2nd down and 6 at the 28-yard line. Second series for Texas Tech. They scored on their opener, going 15 plays. Now Mayfield slings it out. DeAndre Washington. And he's wrestled down shy of the 30-yard line.
Good pursuit inside out. That was Bryce Hager, number 44, the linebacker who should be considered for All-American, as well as Ahmad Dixon, the safety.
Third down and 6 at the 28. There's Amaro. Hager guarding him. It looks like one-on-one.
Watch the corners of Baylor, see if they walk up and try and play press man to force you to throw it to the inside receivers.
Mayfield winds up and caught by Marquez. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was. Bradley Marquez with the agility of a ballerina here as he tight ropes the sideline.
And they did walk up on the press coverage, and Marquez, what he did downfield was what they call uncovered himself and made himself available.
Now DeAndre Washington running, but Marquez picked up 28. Hager with the tackle.
Nice route, nice throw on that last big pickup to Marquez. Morton was stride for stride. Marquez found an extra year and got away and presented a nice target for Mayfield to drop the ball into.
The replay pagers went off after the snap. The previous pass play is no longer reviewable. 2nd down.
You got to get the review in before the next play. What they want to see, was he in bounds? Certainly looked like his foot was in. You know, if that had been an NFL game, he would have had a 2nd foot in. So, well done by Bradley Marquez.
Marquez with the 28-yard reception. Last week against Kansas, he had 5 catches for 38 yards.
And overall, he's been quiet in recent weeks. He wants to break out this evening.
Mayfield decides to run. He's got room. Look at the freshman moving and grooving. A 19-yard gain for the walk-on. Ahmad Dixon finally brings him down.
And when he made up his mind to run, he ran with a purpose. He wasn't running looking to get down. He wasn't running waiting to be tackled. He ran to get everything he could out of that sprint.
So they've had gains of 28 and 19 on this drive. 1st and 10 at the Baylor 20. Mayfield, play fake. Looking for Ahmad. Touchdown! Uh-oh, folks. The number 5 team in the nation got trouble. Texas Tech all business to start this one, and they've got a chance to take a 2-touchdown lead.
Watch Amaro right here. He runs a pro route. It's called a stick nod. Stick there, nod to the inside. And look at Mayfield put it right on him. Amaro has spent a lot of time in recent weeks working with Eric Moore's inside receivers coach, watching NFL tight ends run their routes. It sure paid off on that one. That looked like a next level play.
Ryan busting in to attempt the extra point, and it's good. Texas Tech scoring on their first 2 drives of the game. Baker Mayfield pitching. Jason Morrow catching. 14 shake. Tech. Jason Morrow with his 2nd touchdown of the game last week against Kansas State. He had 9 catches for 67 yards. What a start for him right now. Baker Mayfield also terrific on the drive.
I think you see why Cliff Kingsbury made the switch to go back. The ability of Baker Mayfield to run the ball and move around in the pocket has caused all sorts of problems for Baylor in the early going.
This one caught on the goal line by Clay Fuller. Fuller with the lane. Fuller trying to get outside, turns on the Jets. Fuller gets to the 40 and finally upended around the 43-yard line. So Bryce Petty will have great field position to start. Remember, Petty and the Bears can score points in bunches. Back to Jerry's World right after this. So back here at AT&T Stadium, one of the great stadiums in not only America, Charles, but the world. I mean, this place is spectacular. It's a bucket list place.
Truly magnificent. And you know the big screen up the top that draws your eyes there everywhere? Do you know why that got put in?
Why?
Because Jerry Jones was at a Celine Dion concert and saw her perform with a magnificent screen and said, you know something? I want something like that for my stadium. And that's why this screen was put in this stadium. Jerry Jones, Celine Dion concert, which turns into one of the best sporting moves ever made in a stadium.
Now, that's a great story, but I think I've got one to top it.
I know you do. Hit it.
All right. Jerry Jones and his wife was given the job of putting a certain kind of granite in the stadium.
Yeah.
So she ordered it from Italy. And Mr. Jones wasn't at the top of the list. He said, hey, I'll pay you extra money for it. So Jean, his wife, wanted it. Mr. Jones said, hey, I'll pay extra money for this granite, but he couldn't get to the top of the list. So what did he do? He bought the company in Italy, got to the top of the list, got his granite, then sold the company and made money.
For profit.
My man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it's done.
That's right. From the 43. And they'll hand it off. It's Chuck Linwood running. Helmets flying. A lot of hard hitting going on. Kerry Hyder will have to come off the field for a play.
And let's see if Baylor goes back and presses the run a little bit more on this series. Everybody looks at them and says they are a pass team first. Well, you look at their stats, they throw for 390 yards a game, but guess what? They run for 295 yards per game. They set the tone by running the football.
And some movement on that right side again. It's Kelvin Palmer, the 2nd time he's jumped.
Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Kelvin's got to settle in now. That's the 2nd time he's had that type of a movement in the big ball game. Kelvin Palmer began as a defensive tackle at Baylor, was a center when they started spring practice, but they had an injury with Troy Baker, the starting right tackle, and they had to shuffle the offensive line, and Palmer moved there.
But how about Art Riles and what he's been able to do as the head coach at Baylor, coming over from Houston?
You know something, it's kind of a Kansas State light story in terms of resurrecting Baylor football like Bill Snyder did with the Kansas State Wildcats.
On 2nd down, Linwood again. And Linwood picks up a 1st down and gets to the Tech 40. A 17-yard pickup. Trey Porter had to grab an ankle.
And now they'll move a little bit quicker. Big 1st down off of the running play. Linwood, 182 yards against Oklahoma as the 3rd running back that night. Tonight's his 1st start.
Petty on the play fake. Underneath, caught. This time it's Norwood. Breaks it inside. And the Bears are on the board. 40 yards. And just like that, Baylor marching it down and scoring with 6:05 to go in the 1st. It took them 52 seconds.
Watch Norwood. He's the second receiver in at the top of the screen. Just a simple seam route, but it came off of play action. After the big run by Linwood, they were able to come back and play action, the fake run, throw the ball downfield, and Norwood takes it the distance.
Levi Norwood, a junior from State College, Pennsylvania, had 4 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown against OU last week. This time he goes 40 the hard way, and we've got a 14-7 game in Arlington. Back after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. By the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear. And by Allstate Insurance, proud supporters of college football. Are you in good hands? At the top of our broadcast, folks, we told you that this had the chance to be an explosive offensive game. Well, how about this? We've had 243 yards of offense in 9 minutes, and we're just getting going. So Baylor scoring in less than a minute. They'll send it away. Aaron Jones to kick it. Jakeem Grant, Bradley Marquez back deep. And this one will sail out of the end zone. Now tonight, Fox Sports Live will bring you all the scores and highlights from a full day of college football, college basketball, the NBA, and the NHL, plus all the news from around the world of sports. Fox Sports Live is tonight only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com now.
Well, they won't have any problem finding highlights from this game and trying to figure out which play is the one. Take a look here. Texas Tech ball control. 23 plays, 6 minutes 44 seconds of possession. Baylor gets 7 points. Look at that. 2 minutes, 11 seconds of possession. Can the Baylor defense, which has played so well all year, can they get back in gear starting with this possession?
First down and 10 of the 25, and a timeout called by Tech. And we'll take a quick break. 6:05 to go, first quarter, 14-7. Red Raiders. Third series for Texas Tech. In their opener, they went 15 plays, covering 75 yards, ate up close to 4 minutes as Amaro scored. And then they went 8 plays, 89 yards, in 2:46. Amaro again underneath. They find Sadale Foster, a flag on the play. Jamal Palmer wrapping him up.
Baylor has substituted their entire defensive line. They're all number 2s on the field right now.
And I tell you what, as you take a look at the 2 officials there, these officials have been in the weight room.
Yeah, Scott Campbell, the umpire there.
Look at these guys.
All right, and that's the referee, Alan Eck.
Holding, number 93, defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. The penalty results in the first down.
And that's Suleiman Masumbuko. I take it back. He's actually a starter. He's the only one I see on the field now. You look at the penalty situation, 4 of them. Maybe he was trying to hold up someone trying to get out in a route, and that's what they caught the hold for.
First down and 10 of the 35.
You're right.
Previous play was a completed pass. The game clock and play clock will start on my signal. First down.
You're right about the officials, though, Gus. They're matching each other for set in the weight room, aren't they?
I tell you, you don't want to argue with those guys, for sure.
Somewhere Ed Hockley, if he's watching, he's like, yeah, but you haven't worked out with me.
First down and 10 of the 35 for Tech. Play fake. Mayfield scrambling. Mayfield. And he just gets rid of it. And that's what you like from Baker Mayfield. That's what he brings to this offense for Cliff Kingsbury.
That mobility, the ability to escape pressure, and he had to really get on the good foot there because Andrew Billings, the freshman, number 75, was in hot pursuit. Does Andrew Billings look like a guy who broke the state high school powerlifting record? That agility did not suggest a guy who was squatting 800 pounds.
Second and 10, and they run the reverse. Jakeem Grant. Mayfield, look at him throw a block, but they won't go far because the Bears sniffed it out. Said, no, not here. K.J. Morton stayed home.
Watch to the backside of your screen. K.J. Morton reads it the whole way, never over pursues, forces it inside, and makes the tackle. Terrific play as you diagnose, Gus, by K.J. Morton.
A loss of 1, 3rd down and 11. Baylor defense starting to wake up now. They would love nothing more than to get off the field for the first time against this Tech offense, who scored on their first 2 series. Mayfield delivers up the sideline. Ward! And he has it at the 35. Baker Mayfield pitching pennies, folks. Eric Ward.
And what a route by Ward, because downfield, Ward was able to see the ball before the defensive back and make the cut inside and make a play on the football and complete the pass.
That's a gain of 29. Kenny Williams. And Williams with the leg drive. They won't bring him down. Still moving. Pushing the pile forward. That's a gain of 5 yards.
Watch Eric Ward on the last play. He sees the football before the defensive back does. Able to slow the brakes and cut inside. Maybe a little well-positioned push in the back, too, to cut inside and make the catch. Eric Ward, a senior receiver, running that route with intelligence.
2nd down and 5 at the 32. Mayfield again throws off his back foot to Davis. And he's got it at the 5.
And again, the defensive back does not locate the football until it's too late. Ahmad Dixon gets his head around, but the ball's already dropped in the bucket of Jordan Davis.
And here's Grant running. They lined him up as a tailback. Remember, Texas Tech has scored on their first 2 series of the game. They're trying to make it 3 in a row.
And they're going with their heavy lineup. Trey Keenan, number 93, is checked into the game, showing a bigger, stronger offensive line. But with Texas Tech, that's often an illusion. They show you a heavy lineup and then throw the ball.
Mayfield out of the gun. Looks in the corner. Incomplete. Dylan Cantrell was open, and Mayfield put a little too much on it.
They okey-doked him there, Gus. They showed the heavy run lineup with Keenan in the game, faked the run, and had Cantrell. He just overshot the mark a little bit.
3rd down and goal at the 6.
There's Amaro in the slot.
Split backfield. Mayfield will throw it again, lofts it up to Ward. Woo! What a catch! What hit! Whoa! Young fella!
Watch how he fights at the top. Remember I talked about how physical it would be with these corners from Baylor. They even had their hands all over K.J. Morton, and Ward used his body to keep Morton away from the football and haul it in with his free hand. One of the better catches you'll see all season.
3:25 to go in the first quarter, and Art Briles has that shocked look on his face. And a timeout called by Baylor. But Eric Ward, wow.
I wonder if they're calling timeout, hoping to get a look at this on replay. Let's see. Ward brings it in, goes to the ground. You see the ball move, but it stays in the body of Eric Ward. They called it a touchdown. I don't think they can overturn that. I think that he had plenty of possession. Ball hits with his arm, but I think that it stays within him. That ball is never lost. I think that's a touchdown that's going to stand. That's why I think they've got a timeout.
The rolling on the field is a completed pass for a touchdown. Baylor is challenging the rolling.
All right, let's go to our rules analyst in Los Angeles, former NFL official, Mike Pereira. Mike, your thoughts on this catch or no catch?
Well, I tell you what, I would hate to see replay take away a great play like this. And to me, he does have
Correction.
control.
Baylor elected to take a timeout. There is no challenge. Timeout, Baylor. Their first charge of the half. 30 seconds in length.
All right, Baylor will not challenge this play.
It's not a challenge, but the timeout still stands for them to look at it. So, Mike, what do you think?
And I think that's maybe they got to look at this last shot we showed them and decided not to challenge. You know, but it in the rear end hits first, inbounds. The ball does move a bit, but you see that right hand is solidly on the ball, and he doesn't lose it. So great catch.
The play will stand. Thank you very much, Michael. And the extra point is up. And no good. He shanked it. Ryan Buston.
Unbelievable. They had a streak of 257 straight PAT snapped last week by a blocked extra point. And now they come back this week, and a second one missed in 2 weeks.
So with 3:25 to go in the first quarter, Texas Tech with a 20-7 lead as they go 8 plays covering 75 yards, scoring in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Now let's go back to Los Angeles for a quick game break.
All right, let's go to Columbia, where Florida is taking on number 10 South Carolina. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Out of the Wildcat for the second time in a row, Kelvin Taylor. This time from 29 yards out, his second touchdown. And Florida leads South Carolina 14-6. Desperate times, desperate measures. Gators haven't lost 5 in a row since 1979. Gus and Charles?
Well, Patrick, we're seeing some of that here with Texas Tech. They've lost 3 in a row, didn't play well last week, and they decided, hey, we've got nothing to lose, let it all hang out. I think Florida's playing the same way as South Carolina in the early going.
Look at the numbers, though, for Baker Mayfield. He started 3 of 9, now 9 of 11. As the Red Raiders will send it away. And this one will be down in the end zone by Clay Fuller. So let's take a look at the big picture, folks. This week in the BCS standings, Alabama remains at number 1 and Florida State remains at number 2. Ohio State jumps up to number 3. Stanford moves up 1 spot to number 4. Cardinal have USC. And Baylor climbs to number 5, their highest rank in school history.
And that's where the controversy, if you want to call it that, is kind of kicked in. Baylor behind a 1-loss Stanford team coming into tonight. That led to the debate. I know our colleagues talked about that in the pregame show. Eddie George, Joel Klatt. Joel got to see Baylor live and in person last Thursday. Obviously impressed. He thought they should be number 3. Eddie, of course, I'm not going to say he's an Ohio State grad, but he thought Ohio State should be number 3. It will all play out.
Here's Petty underneath, looking for his receiver, and it's incomplete. Antoine Goodley, the intended receiver. And nice defensive coverage by Bruce Jones, who bumped him.
And early in this game, Justice Nelson, number 31 for Texas Tech, is a true freshman starting on the corner. They have not been able to locate him and work on him very much in the early going.
Petty again, incomplete. That one intended for Corey Coleman. And Ward may have gotten a fingertip on the football.
And he's a redshirt freshman who's just starting, I believe, his 3rd game in his young career. Excellent play inside, knocking it away.
Keenan Ward from Snyder, Texas. 3rd down, 10 of the 25. Baylor leads the nation, averaging just 1 over on 3 and outs. Here's Petty. Delivering. And nobody home. Closest man of the football, Clay Fuller, and the Bears are forced to punt it away.
And that was a safety, Trey Porter. Look at that, just the 13th 3-and-out this season. The fewest in Division I football, the FBS. And Trey Porter, a safety, normally was on the coverage, pinned Fuller to the sideline, nowhere to place the football.
You surprised with this score?
I am, because I didn't expect Texas Tech to have this much success against Baylor's offense in the early going. Big credit to Matt Wallerstedt's defense of the Red Raiders.
Bears send it away, angled toward the near side, takes a bounce, a Baylor bounce, and finally will be down at the 10. Now, Fox Sports Supports is proud to partner with Johns Hopkins Medicine. Johns Hopkins is at the forefront of groundbreaking research into autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis and lupus. Join us in the fight against autoimmune disease. Donate by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox.
I think there was a little thought on that punt that maybe it might have touched the Texas Tech player trying to block, but it went through and did not touch him, so Tech be able to keep possession starting on their own 14-yard line.
First down from the 14 for Baker Mayfield, who's been terrific in this first quarter. Mayfield lines up. Looking for Marquez, incomplete. A flag on the play, though, near the line of scrimmage.
And as they look at this flag, you know what else has helped Baker Mayfield tonight, Gus? His receivers have come up big. They've made plays for him tonight, helped elevate their play in order to help a struggling football team.
Personal foul, chop block, number 75, offense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
So that's Jared Castor, the center. Let's see if someone is occupied with a pass rusher and he chops. Let's see. Yeah, what you've got is he's chopping back away from the play, first of all. And second, the back is starting to occupy and get engaged with the pass rusher, and he's chopping him from behind.
First down and 17 as they move it back to the 7. Mayfield, far side, and Grant got nailed. Woo! Sam Hall.
And this is the type of play that can elevate everyone else's play and can help change your fortunes a little bit. Sam Hall, a safety last year, moved up closer to the line of scrimmage because of his ability to do just that, which is strike someone and put a blow on him. Comes up big for Baylor.
Makes it second down and 17 at the 7. Mayfield, pump fake, steps up, buys time, throws, and incomplete. Jakeem Grant close to the football. And that'll bring up third down and long.
Now, early in this game, Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator of Baylor, was blitzing on third downs. On the last third down we saw, he didn't. He played coverage. Let's see what he decides to do here with them pinned deep in their own territory.
Trip to the top of your screen. Amaro is the slot receiver at the top. He's been money on third down all season long.
I'd be leery of the screen here if I'm Baylor.
Mayfield throws to the sideline. Grant with the catch, but Grant goes down quickly. Ahmad Dixon with the open field tackle, and the Red Raiders will finally be forced to punt it away.
So we've had two big hits now. Sam Hall, and watch Ahmad Dixon, top of your screen, number 6 in green. That's what an old coach of mine used to say, introducing yourself. Ahmad Dixon runs right through Jakeem Grant and puts him down after the catch.
So Ryan Erxleben, the senior, will punt out of his own end zone. Levi Norwood back deep at the 42. Norwood, he'll get a shot at the 45. Norwood, uh-oh, watch out. Norwood still running. Norwood brings it inside. Hard dig. Norwood, touchdown Bears. 58 yards. What a game, folks. Tell a friend. They are balling at Jerry's World.
He does what all great punt returners do. You make the first man miss. Watch this. There, he slips Kenny Williams. Now, once he does that, now he gets the benefits of the wall. He makes a second one miss. That's the punter, Erxleben, who was an all-state defensive end in high school.
Extra point good. What a first quarter. 1:39 to go. Texas Tech with a 20-14 lead. But Levi Norwood, a spectacular return.
Take a look here, right there. He makes the first man miss. Now he's going to make the punter miss. And now he starts to pick up a tandem of guys. A nice wall set up for him with excellent cuts, excellent vision. His second punt return for a touchdown this season. And Bryce Petty, who was getting ready to come out in the field and lead his offense, hey, I'm cool with that. We'll take 6 without me coming back out on the field. Baylor firmly back into this football game. How about Norwood, the son of a coach? His dad on the staff here at Baylor, and he gets it done.
Norwood with a 40-yard touchdown reception. Now a 58-yard punt return. This young man from State College, Pennsylvania, showing out. And we still have 1:39 to go in the first quarter.
Gus, he originally was signed with Penn State. His dad was on the staff there. His dad took the job here at Baylor. Joe Paterno graciously let him out of his letter of intent to sign with his father at Baylor, followed him here, and has actually played on the Baylor basketball team in past years. A terrific athlete making huge plays this evening.
Aaron Jones to kick it away. Grant and Marquez back deep. And this will be Marquez from the 6. Marquez finally taken down to the 26-yard line. Orion Stewart with the tackle on special teams as we take a look at the BCS top 10.
Well, Alabama at Mississippi State, they're already up 3-0. Florida State blasted Syracuse. Ohio State 160-35, but it wasn't pretty. Stanford, USC, a big game tonight. We're here with Baylor, Texas Tech. Oregon won big today. Auburn in a thriller over Georgia. Clemson Thursday night over Georgia Tech big. Missouri off this week. South Carolina leading Florida 14-6. Well, actually, I believe Florida's up 14-6 in that game.
From the 26. Mayfield. Underneath Jakeem Grant. That one goes right through his hands. So Jakeem Grant has dropped 2 in this first quarter.
And Gus, you know the pressure of this game that Tech is feeling is not just from the defense. Sam Hall makes a nice play. A nice defense of Baylor. It's Baylor's offense. Every time you're on the field, if you're Texas Tech, you're actually matched up against them because you have to keep scoring because you know they will.
Second down, Kenny Williams. And Williams dragged down from behind by K.J. Morton, the senior from Warner Robins, Georgia. So another third down coming up for the Red Raiders. They need 7. They're 2 of 6 on third down conversions.
And this is a big one for them. They're losing momentum offensively now. Baylor's defense starting to assert itself. Tech needs a first down to try and get some of that momentum back.
Baker Mayfield in trouble. Mayfield. Oh my goodness, what a throw. First down. How about that? Kenny Williams got open on a scramble, and Mayfield makes a play.
And the intelligence of Kenny Williams as a running back. He converted the route and went upfield, realized his quarterback was in trouble, and came back and set himself with enough distance to pick up a first down.
Now Williams running it. He'll run into a pile. My question to you, Charles, is you look at Baker Mayfield, and you know, Davis Webb, who started a lot of games, played well. But Baker Mayfield, how does a kid like this end up a walk-on? How come a TCU or a Texas?
Well, he was holding out. The story is that he was holding out, wanting an offer from TCU. Didn't get it. Turned down Washington State. Turned down Rice, Florida Atlantic, some other schools, and then didn't have a place to go. That's how he turned it on.
What a play! K.J. Morton, did he hold on? Yes, he did! Out of nowhere! That's an athlete, folks! Wow! Incredible!
He almost jumped too high.
I've never seen that.
I can say that I've seen it before, but not to that level of athleticism. I saw it when I played. We had an outside linebacker, Dale Jones, who did it against Alabama in a huge win for my Tennessee Volunteers in Birmingham. But that athleticism, Morton climbs the ladder, and Williams, the running back, was there to block him, but he didn't get close enough to block him. That wasn't Williams' fault. He just never got there, and the ball stays in his mitts, and Baylor has it. Watch him try and strike fast.
Here's Petty to throw it. Looking in the end zone. Touchdown! Great call, partner. Antoine Goodley. These Bears have swagger. They're not your average Bears.
These are not your father's Bears by any stretch. The freshman Justice Nelson getting his first start on the corner. Antoine Goodley essentially just runs right past him. Play fake, Petty. Ball delivered. Right now the game's tied, and
Baylor takes a 1-point lead. 4 seconds to go in the first. 21-20, Baylor.
now Antoine Goodley is built like your normal running back. Look at that physique. He squats 600 pounds, but he runs like a true wide receiver. And there's K.J. Morton happy that he provided the football for his offense. Bryce Petty pays it off for a terrific defensive play. And Gus, I think we can go back to a couple series ago. The big hit by Sam Hall on a pass. 2 plays later, Ahmad Dixon, another big shot. And Baylor has set their pads and merely put a stance down on the field and said not anymore for a while. And this game has started to turn.
Baylor jump around. 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 33 seconds.
Kind of fitting after those hits we saw that the House of Pain comes on the loudspeaker, isn't it?
See, your daughter is watching this game right now, Charles, and she's saying, I didn't know Daddy knew about the House of Pain.
Got her head in her hands, embarrassed that her dad would know that.
Grant, and he'll bring it out. Jakeem Grant. And he is roughed up at the 17. Orion Stewart again. We've seen some plays, folks, in this one. Goodley, the Bears coming back. And just think, we're getting ready to start the second quarter, 21-20.
Well, if you're looking at these stats, Gus, if you just joined us, who do you think's winning this game? I mean, look at that. Texas Tech, big numbers on their side. But Baylor's up 21-20. Punt return and big strikes.
And they'll hand it off. DeAndre Washington will be tackled for a loss. Andrew Billings, the freshman from Waco, with the tackle.
Gus, he broke the state powerlifting record in high school last year, 2,010 pounds combined, including an 805-pound squat. He's going to be hard to move inside.
Second down and 12. Mayfield. And another terrific catch by Eric Ward, falling down. He's got a big smile, as he should. That's a gain of 21.
He's having some night, isn't he? And he's really helping the quarterbacks. And again, got away with a hold was Dimitri Goodson. Ward came back inside, located the football. What's happening to the Baylor defensive backs is they're not locating the football in their coverage. And Baker Mayfield is whistling it past their ears.
Second one-handed catch. The first is for a touchdown. And they'll find Foster. And Foster lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Eddie Lackey brings him to the turf. But these Baylor Bears are very violent tacklers.
And they have no problem at all putting a lick on you, do they?
Second and 10 at the 37. Washington, the pistol back. They give it to him. Tries to break it outside. And he'll gain maybe a yard on the play. Dixon and Lackey combining on the tackle. Look how they close, Charles.
Watch Eddie Lackey, number 5. Can you believe this is a guy that began his career in Division II at Northwoods? Got there the first day. You know what the coach told him? Son, you're too good for this level. Ended up transferring out after a season, junior college, ends up at Baylor, and boy, is he playing well.
And 3 different times in his career, he's been named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. 3rd and 8. Mayfield steps up. He's got a lane. Looking for the first down, and he'll go down short. And Texas Tech will punt it away. And Bryce Hager there to stop him.
And Gus, on this play, self-preservation won out over trying to get the first down, because he sees Lackey 5 and Hager closing. So he's not going to drop a shoulder on Bryce Hager, the linebacker, goes down, and that's short of the first down.
So Levi Norwood, who just returned a punt, 58 yards for a touchdown, stands at the 15. And this one goes over his head and gets into the end zone for a touchback. So after trailing big early, Baylor with the 1-point lead, and here come the Bears on offense once again.
All right, let's